After having finished the second sleeve, you join it the same way as you did with the first one. Pick up the stitches to the flexible needle. You have to juggle a little with the cable of the flexible needle. I used the wrong needles for this task because they're gliding not so perfectly. So I always have to juggle with the cable. After having picked up all the stitches, you knit one round over all the stitches and you place markers at the middle of the front, at the middle of the back, and at every gap between sleeve and body. So this is the middle of the front. We just need this for orientation, and the markers between body and sleeve mark where we will do our decreases. We will decrease 4 times per round, always between body and sleeve, sleeve and body. I will change to my knit picks needles later on. They are gliding much more smoothly. So this was the first round, and now we start the decreases, but first we have to figure out how many decreases we will need. What we did up to now. We have 36 stitches in front and 36 stitches in the back and 32 stitches for each sleeve. Makes a total of 72 plus 64 makes 136 stitches in total. How many stitches will we need for the head circumference? We have a height of 10 centimeters and we will decrease over another 10 centimeters height, which makes 26 rounds for our decreases. We will decrease on four times per round. 4 times 2 stitches, so per round we will decrease 8 stitches. Assume we would decrease every second round. Just for an estimation, decrease every second round would make 13 times 8 stitches less, or 104 stitches less. That makes a remaining 32 stitches, and that's only 20 centimeters for the head opening, and that's not enough. A baby's head circumference is approximately 40 centimeters, so if we decreased every third round, we would decrease 8 by 8 stitches and we have 64 stitches less, so approximately half of our stitches, and that's fine, and that fits to a head circumference of approximately 40 centimeters. So we will decrease every third round. The decreases are knitted easily. Now you knit up to the 2 stitches before the first decrease marker. The marker in the middle of the front marks the beginning of the round. Now knit the 2 stitches before the marker together. You need a slant to the right. Still juggling with my cables and stitches. So knit the 2 stitches before the marker together for a slant to the right. Pick up the marker. And now for the opposite slant, slip one, knit one, and pass over the slipped one. And continue knitting. You will see with better gliding needles you don't need to, there is not so much fuss with gliding your stitches. Continue knitting to the next marker. The decreases are always the same. Knit together the 2 stitches before the marker and slip, knit, pass over the 2 stitches after the marker. And when pulling out the cable, keep your stitches very tight to avoid holes. So now knit together the 2 stitches before the marker. Pick up the marker to the right needle and now slip, knit, pass over. Continue with the decreases at every decrease marker till you reach the end of the round. I changed the marker in front, in the middle of the front, to a different color so that I see this is the end of the round. After the decrease round, you knit 2 rounds without decreases. Meantime, I changed to better gliding knit picks needles, or knit pro needles as we have to call it in Europe. Which makes it easier to push the stitches around the needles. And again, if you pull out the cable, keep the stitches very tight together. And another decrease round. every third round, and the decreases never change. Always do the same. Knit 2 stitches together before the marker and slip knit pass over the 2 stitches after the marker. I show you once again. Knit 2 together before the marker, pick up the marker to the right needle and slip, knit, pass over the slipped one, and continue knitting to the next marker. After 2 rounds of decrease, I have 16 stitches less. I have 120 stitches total, and I change to double point needles again, 4 times 30 stitches. I prefer the double point needles if you have an appropriate number of stitches. Now you can already see the decreases clearly. Of course, there are various ways how to work those decreases, but for this tutorial I'm using the most simple ways to accomplish things. The sleeves are rather long because I always fear sleeves being too short. Now, after 26 rounds, we continue with a very simple collar. Just knit 6 rounds without any decreases or increases. And as we are knitting in stockinette stitch, this collar will roll a little. We have a rolling collar as a result. 6 rounds, just knit. After those 6 rounds for the collar, you bind off loosely. Chain style, which means knit 1, knit 1, pass over the previous stitch, knit 1, pass over the previous stitch. Don't knit too tight for the bind off. Knit 1, pass over the previous stitch. Now you just have to sew the end threads and no seams to sew. You finished your first raglan pullover for babies. There will be several more videos on different styles for pullover knitting. Enjoy!